implications as well, Steve. Brother Martin unbeaten in district play. Jesuit with just one loss. The winner here tonight could very well be the champion in the Catholic League.
That's true. Jesuit is really fighting to win that championship. They need to win tonight. Also a big game for them next week against Shaw. So this is a crucial game for both teams.
Brother Martin 7-1 overall. Jesuit 6-2 on the season. The Crusaders are ranked 9th in the statewide poll this week, finally getting the respect that they so very much deserve. The third member of our broadcast team here this evening, down on the field, is Lance Jacob with Brother Martin head coach Bobby Conlon. Lance?
A big game tonight, Brother Martin versus Jesuit. Always a good rivalry, but tonight it's got a little more impact tonight.
Both of us have a shot at going #1. You know, we're #1 right now, but we're on top of the mountain. But I'm sure they could try and knock us off. But that's what they get paid to do. And I think it's going to be a real good ball game, Lance. I really do.
Now, it's really going to be a game amongst the teams, but an interesting battle between coaches. You know Mark Sonji well. You gave him a start in high school football. Tell me a little bit about that relationship.
Well, Mark played for us, you know, and he was a real good football player. Mark's a real good competitor. So I know he's going to do a good job over at Jeb as coach, and he's done a good job so far this year. And he kind of scares me a little bit, you know, because the things that they do, a lot of things, not the same thing that we do, but the same type of philosophy to some extent. They like to control the ball, and they do a real good job of it, and that kind of scares me tonight. We're going to have to be able to take the ball away from them.
What do you need to do to win tonight offensively? I know you need to take the ball away defensively, but your offensive philosophy?
Well, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We've had success moving the ball. We've been playing well the last 7 weeks, really. We've been playing very well 6 or 7 weeks. But we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to stay with the wishbone. We're going to run the option. That's what brung us here, and, you know, we're going to dance with that.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Good luck to you tonight.
Okay,
good luck to you.
thank you.
Okay. Let's do it. We'll get back up to you, Kenny and Steve. Should be a great ball game tonight. Back up to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Lance. Steve, the Jesuit Blue Jays rely on the running game. They have a terrific 1-2 punch in Todd Golemi and Ricky Roniger. In fact, last week they rushed for 361 yards in a victory. And Golemi is the young guy that you really want to keep your eyes on. He is only a sophomore, but what a talent number 21 is.
He's an outstanding runner. I think Jesuit kind of struggled at the beginning of the season trying to find themselves, and they've really settled on a ball control offense, relying on their offensive line. Todd Golemi, 141 attempts rushing, 816 yards, 9 touchdowns, and as you said, he's just a sophomore. So they're going to go with ball control, try to keep the ball away from Brother Martin and do the things that they feel they do best.
And the Jesuit defense has been outstanding of late, Steve. A couple of shutouts in a row and only 18 points over their past 4 games yielded.
Here again, one of the strengths they feel is their defensive line, the up front line. They like to come at you. And again, they're going to try to do the things that they've done well the last 4 games, only allowing 18 points, 2 shutouts. It's going to be a big test for Brother Martin to crack that defensive line.
Of course, something has to give because Brother Martin has been terrific offensively. 35 points over their past 5 games. That's their average. And they are led by an experienced senior running back, fullback Dante Ascani.
Ascani is a senior. Again, he's rushed the ball 131 times, 681 yards, and 10 touchdowns. But, you know, Brother Martin overall has only 7 returning starters, so they're not really that deep in experience. He's one of the leaders on the football team, and, again, they're going to have a big game out of him. Both teams do not like to throw the ball unless they're really forced to, so it should be a rather quick ball game tonight.
Yeah, it should be. No tricks here tonight. I think all treats. Brother Martin and Jesuit back in just a moment with the opening kickoff from Tad Gormley Stadium on the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Prep Football on Cox Cable is brought to you by Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. Kenner on the move. Friday Night Football on WGNO TV, Channel 20.
Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob down on the field for the WSMB Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Brother Martin and Jesuit to do battle here this evening. Brother Martin 7-1 on the year. Jesuit 6-2. The Crusaders are perfect 4-0 in district play. Jesuit had 3-1 coming into this game this evening. We pause now to honor America for our national anthem. homecoming for Jesuit here this evening, and the Blue Jays are hoping that the outcome this year is a little bit different than last year, Steve, because Brother Martin was dominant in last year's affair.
That's true. They shut Jesuit out, beating them 35-0. So there may be a slight revenge factor here, but you know, it's even more interesting, Kenny, in the relationship between the two coaches tonight.
Yeah, it really is. Lance touched on that a little bit, but Mark Sanji is a Brother Martin graduate. He not only went to school at Brother Martin, played ball there, but also coached under Bobby Conlon. It was the first job that Mark Sanji had. Bobby Conlon gave him that opportunity. Mark Sanji in his first year, as we mentioned, 6-2, one of the bright young coaches around, a delightful guy, and we think he's got a terrific future at Jesuit High School, Steve. Of course, his counterpart is Bobby Conlon, and, well, you just can't say enough about the job that Bobby has done for so many years, the dean of coaching in the New Orleans area, in the state of Louisiana, along with Charlie Brown. In fact, at Neville, Bobby in his 23rd year, a record of 176, 78, and 5. Brother Martin will kick off to start the game this evening. Jesuit will receive here to get things started at Tad Gormley Stadium. Damon Tollier will kick it off for Brother Martin. Deep to receive for the Blue Jays will be Marcus Scott and Todd Galemi as we are set to get underway from Tad Gormley Stadium. And we are underway. Here's the kick coming down at about the 6-yard line. Galemi to the 15, the 20, running left to the 25, and brought down at that point by 21, Rayon Hill. Here's the Jesuit offensive front. Boy, it's a good one, Steve. Chris Cola had a big game against Billy Barron of Rummel. Jason Tomlinson, Matt Rigby, the center. Boyd Kitchen and Eric Bubrig are college prospects, and Richard Edrington is the tight end. Brian Saunders, the quarterback, runs the offense well. Not much of a threat to pass. Ricky Rodiger, Brett Kreller are the running backs. The flanker is Dyson Roberts. Bill Thompson, the leading receiver, has 14 catches on the year. On first down, the I formation behind Brian Saunders, the quarterback. Takes the snap. No surprise. Gives it to his tailback. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard, and that's all for Todd Galemi, who gets the start. He and Rodiger will split time at that tailback spot. Here's the Brother Martin defensive front. Adam Still at one defensive end. Sidney Bartholomew playing great football and tackle at 6'5" and 230. Ted Inbo and Mike Kane. It's a formidable front for Brother Martin. Sewage, Howard, and Massey bookends are outstanding at linebacker. And the secondary, back to live action, second down and 9 yards to go. The give is to Galemi once again running left. Galemi to about the 27-yard line. That'll make it third down and about 8. Here's the secondary for Brother Martin. Bruce Blanchard, Danny Fulham, Rayon Hill, Justin Clark for the Crusaders. So the Martin defensive front tough here on the first 2 downs. Matt Roger in with the play from the sideline from Coach Mark Sanji on third down and 8.
One thing that Brother Martin does well is they like to run their little stunts and different twists between the offensive and defensive line.
Split backs for the first time, and Saunders rolling, wants to throw. In the flat, has a man, and it's incomplete. As he tried to get it to Todd Galemi under pressure. He had Galemi open in the flat, but overthrown by just a tad, and the Blue Jays are 3 and out on their first possession.
Blue Jays only threw the ball 6 times in their game last week against Holy Cross, completing 1 pass. It's just not one of the real strengths of their attack.
Credit Mike Kane with an outstanding pass rush there for Brother Martin. That's the deep band to receive for Brother Martin. Kicking it away will be Pat Neely. Danny Fulham is deep for the Crusaders. Neely, an outstanding punter and kicker. He's a real weapon for Jesuit. High snap. Neely pulls it down, gets his kick away. It's a low one. Takes a Jesuit bounce, rolls inside the 40, and will be down finally at about the 35-yard line in Brother Martin territory, and that's where the Crusaders will start offensively. Here is the Brother Martin offense. Billy West, Victor Suwan, Jeff Duffy. Dustin Cook has been moved to tackle because Casey Fitzpatrick is hurt with a knee injury. He's out. Corey Spann is in at the guard spot. Dubleclet is the tight end as we look at Bobby Conlon and the Brother Martin sideline. Stephen Thiel is the quarterback for Brother Martin, the 5'10", 160-pound senior. A good look at him, and he is a terrific player. Full house backfield behind him on first down. They give this to Ascani, and he's stuffed. Dante Ascani met immediately and driven back. Defensively, Terry Urson, the big 250-pound senior, makes the stop. It's an excellent defensive front for Jesuit, Steve.
Yes, Weiss, Wainwright, Parrish, and Bonner. We saw them in person against Rummel. They just totally shut him down.
And some switches at outside linebacker. Travis Bonifasic and Joe Barnett start outside in place of Rainieri and Breeden. We'll see both of them, though. Trinico and Kenny are outstanding. Scott, Murphy, and Tarantino, a good secondary. Second down, 11 yards to go. A loss of 1 on the previous play. And now whistles on the field. Stoppage in play. I do not see a flag. The officials are going to discuss what is going on down there. There was no flag on the play, but play was stopped. It will be second down and 11 when we continue. The backfield has Stephen Thiel at quarterback. The fullback is Ascani. The halfbacks are Caracci and Mark Williams, all returning starters in that Brother Martin backfield.
Looks like Jesuit's going to be charged with a timeout.
All right, Jesuit is charged with a timeout. We'll keep it right here because they're still on the field, and it looks like they'll be back to action pretty quickly, so we'll keep it right here. Just underway, 10 minutes to play. First quarter, no score. Jesuit and Brother Martin. Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios. Lance Jacob down on the sideline. Jesuit with 11 returning starters from its team last year that went 5-5, and they were 2-4 in the district. Jays are coming off of a 45-0 shutout victory over Holy Cross a week ago. Brother Martin coming off of an impressive 42-7 win, that is, over De La Salle a week ago.
Brother Martin doing quite well in district. They're undefeated, beating St. Aug and Shaw, and that's really thrown the race for the title, you know, depending on this game this week and the big game next week between Jesuit and Shaw.
These two teams are similar in the numbers category. Jesuit has outscored its opponents 227-111 thus far this season. Brother Martin has outscored its opponents 221-99 this year. Very impressive on both sides of the ledger.
The glaring fact is that how much the defense for Jesuit has improved. They allowed 216 points last year and only have given up 111 so far this year.
Marshan Kenny, the defensive captain, over to get the instructions from the Jesuit sideline. We mentioned 10 minutes to play first quarter. We have no score. This is a long time out. Looked like they weren't going to take any time at all. Not sure what the problem is. We'll try to get Lance Jacob to check on that to find out exactly what the stoppage in play was.
Maybe able to pick something up here as the official comes over to the sideline.
He discusses things with Mark Sanji, and we will check in with Lance to find out exactly what the deal was. Might have been an equipment problem of some sort. Second down, 11 yards to go. The Crusaders at their own 36-yard line. Up to the line of scrimmage. Stephen Thiel leads them there. And they break the bone. This particular formation. Split backs with Williams in motion to the right side now. Thiel runs the option, pitches to Williams, gets away from one tackler and another, and is fighting his way for about 4 or 5 yards. Nice effort there by Williams, who had no room at all. Jesuit had a well defense, but missed a couple of tackles before Sean Weiss, the senior defensive end, makes the stop. You may recall Weiss was our ESPN Cox Cable AAA Trophies player of the game against Rummel a couple of weeks ago.
Defensive player of the game. No, he was a player all day, but he was a defensive player. He had a great game that night.
Just can't resist, can you? An old wide receiver at heart. Third down, 6 yards to go. Crusaders in their own 40-yard line. Again, Williams in the slot. Ascani just putting his helmet on. And Caracci behind Thiel, the quarterback. Far side of the field, the right side, ball's on the right hash mark, and Brother Martin taking a lot of time here because of Ascani's helmet. They finally get it on. Thiel now rolls to throw. Stops, throws, into flat, pass caught. Close to first down yardage, now dropped, incomplete. Into the hands of Danny Crowdis, but Crowdis had it and lost it. Good defensive pressure from Will Murphy, who knocked it away, and it will be fourth down. Let's go down field level now to this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, guys. Reason for that timeout a little while ago was an equipment timeout. Something was wrong with one of the interior linemen's equipment. On Jesuit's next possession, look for something to the weak side. Look for a lead weak. That's what they call it on the sidelines. They're going to try and get outside of the rush of Brother Martin. Back up to you guys.
Stephen Thiel to punt it away for the Crusaders. Hits it high. And it's fielded at the 30-yard line. To the 35, Scott to the 36, and brought down at that point, and that's where Jesuit will start this possession. Second time they've had the ball tonight. Dante Ascani made the stop for Brother Martin. 8:44 to play first quarter. We have no score in this critical District 10 5A contest. Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios. Jesuit will start officially from its 36-yard line. Ball just outside the 35. As we look at the quarterback, Brian Saunders with the I formation behind him. Quick snap, he gives it to Galemi with a hole. Galemi breaks a tackle across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. He has about 8 yards on the play. Good job by Galemi of bursting through the hole over the right side before Heath Howard can trip him up. Running behind the two stalwarts there, Steve.
That's right, Ken. Good job of blocking by Kitchen and Bruberg. They just quick hitter right at the line of scrimmage. Big hole. Galemi got through, and this is what Lance said they were going to do, try to run weak.
Second down, about 2 yards to go. Galemi again running left. Another good hole and a first down for Todd Galemi to midfield. Pickup of 6 yards. That time running over the left side behind Jason Tomlinson and Matt Rigby. Justin Clark makes the stop for the Crusaders, but our initial first down of the game.
First down. Again, Jesuit in talking with Coach Sanji again, the Brother Martin defense, they like to run some stunts, but every now and then, when you catch a stunt with the right offensive play, you're going to be in for a big gainer.
From midfield, 1st and 10, Jesuit. Again, Galemi hit in the backfield and dropped. This time, great penetration by the outstanding inside linebacker, Heath Howitt, the 5'11", 190-pound senior, a returning starter, second on the team in tackles with 74. Galemi last week, a big game against Holy Cross, Steve.
20 carries for 208 yards. Just an outstanding effort by Galemi.
A loss of 2 on the last play, 2nd and 12. Wide to the left, Dyson Roberts. Wide right is Bill Thompson. I formation behind Saunders, who takes the snap. Pitches left to Galemi. Has a blocker in front of him. Gets a block. Crosses midfield to the 47-yard line. Nice defensive play by the strong safety, Rayon Hill, who took the block, Steve. Managed to fight his way through it and make the stop. Because that play looked awfully good.
It did. Brother Martin had the blitz on that time. They were coming right up the middle. They have the right play call to get away from the blitz. They go outside. But as you said, Kenny, the safety comes up. He stands his ground, fights off the attempted block, and made a great tackle in the open field of Galemi.
Yeah, Kreller, the fullback, leading the way, trying to make the block. Yeah, you mentioned the blitzes. It's the famous gap 8 defense of Chubby Marks. They just find gaps and shoot them. On 3rd down, Galemi running left, breaks a tackle. Galemi is going to be brought down at about the 41-yard line, close to a 1st down. Appears to be about a yard short in the arms of Rayon Hill, the strong safety once again. And it is going to be a 4th down situation. And about 1, Steve, and Jesuit may think about going for it here.
I think so. Again, we have the opportunity to see the replay. A little counter draw to Galemi. Wanted to go inside. It was totally sealed off. He broke it outside on his own, made a good run, and now they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Great block on the play by the fullback, Greg Kreller. Our crew capturing it very well. Jesuit going for it. 4th and 1 from the 41-yard line. Power I formation. Galemi running right. 1st down. Jesuit across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Matt Massey able to make the stop. Nothing fancy. He lined up in the power I and wedged him out of there, Steve.
It really did. Again, Brother Martin came with the blitz. Drew Sumich was in the backfield. He shot the gap perfectly, but Galemi evaded that tackle and was able to pick up the 1st down.
At the 39-yard line officially, 6 minutes to play in the quarter. No score. Again, the I formation behind Saunders. And the pitch to Galemi running left. He has blockers in front. He's down to about the 36-yard line as Galemi running left for a pickup of about 4 yards. Matt Massey, Rayon Hill, and on the stop for Brother Martin. It will be 2nd down and about 6 yards to go.
Brother Martin, Jesuit started the series off running inside very well. Brother Martin kind of shut that down. Now the last couple of attempts have been to the outside.
2nd down, Blue Jays. Ball just inside the 37. We'll call it 7 yards to go. This time, twin receivers to the right side. First time we've seen that. Again, the quick snap. Galemi running inside. Hit and stop. A gain of about 1.5 yards. That's all. Penetration defensively by 86 Mike Kane, the defensive end at 6 foot, 190 pounds. He is a junior.
Kenny just read the play from the get-go. He knifed in, had penetration, got underneath the first blocker, and actually tripped Galemi up as he hit the line of scrimmage.
Huge crowd emerging here this evening. I mean, this is a big crowd, a 24,000-seat stadium. I guarantee you we got about 7,000 or 8,000 here this evening. 3rd and 6 to 36. Saunders rolling against the blitz. Saunders in trouble. Saunders hit and dropped in the backfield at the 39-yard line by Adam Sill, who came from the weak side. He ran him down from behind, Steve.
Sill showed good speed that time. As the quarterback rolls out, he wants to roll out to his right, and he is just run down from behind. Sill finishes him off right before he could turn upfield.
So the Crusaders have held. It's 4th and 9. And in the punt for Jesuit is Pat Neely once again, standing in his own territory at about the 47. Eddie Fulham will drop deep. Neely will likely try to kick it away from him here. High snap. Neely gets it down in plenty of time and hits it toward the sideline. Bounces at the 10 and will be down at about the 10. An effective kick by Neely. Good job. Downed by Ben Tarantino. And Brother Martin will put it in play 1st and 10 from just outside its own 10-yard line with 3:59 to play in a fast-moving quarter.
Neely did a good job that time angling the ball to the sideline. He wanted to keep it away from the dangerous turn man. Goes out on the 10. And now Brother Martin has that back against the wall, so to speak.
Crusaders back for their 2nd offensive series. Stephen Thiel at quarterback. Thiel had 85 yards on 8 carries and a 5-yard touchdown in the win over De La Salle a week ago. Full house backfield behind Thiel on 1st down. Wishbone look. Thiel on the keeper. Thiel has some room. To the 15, to the 20, the 25, the 30. Thiel, the 35, the 40, and out of bounds. Stephen Thiel rambling down the right sideline about 34 yards before Marchand Kenny can bring him down.
We talked about the athletic ability of Thiel in the opening of the broadcast tonight. That time, Ken, he just did a good job of faking the option at the line of scrimmage. A great fake to his fullback, and then he's just off to the races, getting around the contain of Jesuit, and he's in for a long gain. A good ball handling and a good execution and athletic ability running the football.
Running right behind Dupliclet. Span and Cook. First down, 10 Martin, the 39-yard line. Again, the option this time left, this time short yardage to the 42, possibly the 43-yard line for Thiel, before Marchand Kenny, the outstanding linebacker, can bring him down. He's their leading tackler, a returning starter. He has 5 sacks and 3 fumble recoveries on the year, and he's a solid college prospect.
Being looked at by a number of schools, especially the local schools.
Second down, 6 yards to go, the 43-yard line with 3:20 and counting in the first quarter. Crusaders up to the line of scrimmage. Williams in the slot left, Caracci and Ascani behind Thiel. Takes the snap, runs to Connor with Caracci running right in trouble and dropped to the backfield for a big loss. Trepanier Bonner, the first man there for Jesuit, the 6'2", 210-pound junior, along with help from Travis Boniface.
Okay, the little delay counter. Jesuit just had good penetration at the line of scrimmage, totally steered off the middle. As the back tried to bounce outside, he was just engulfed by the Blue Jay defense.
They will bring up a 3rd down and 9 situation from the 40-yard line for Brother Martin. 2:40 to play here in the first quarter. And a trip set here for the Crusaders. 3 receivers to the left side of the field. That's the wide side in this formation. Thiel shouting instructions, takes the snap. You know he's going to roll that way. In trouble now, cuts back to the right side. Inside, he's going to be hit and brought down at about the 44-yard line. Chip Wainwright was the first man there for Jesuit, along with help from Boniface. Wainwright, 6'5", 220, a senior, a good-looking player.
Brother Martin that time wanted to flood the left side of the field, the wide side, and as Thiel took the handoff, he tried to roll. The penetration was just there. He had nowhere to go. Tried to scramble up the field and is finally brought down short of a first down.
Yeah, he wanted to roll, but Sean Weiss had containment there, so he cut it back inside. Punt formation, Thiel barely gets it off under pressure. High kick, Scott going back, fair catch, lets it go, and that's going to cost Jesuit. It'll be down at about the 12-yard line. Well, he could have fielded that, but opted not to, and in high school you can understand why. But a good punt by Thiel, and as a result, Jesuit will be pinned back deep in their own territory to start their 3rd possession with no score. 1:45 to play in the quarter, no score. Down to field level now for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. One thing that's worrying Coach Mark Saunders is the way Brother Martin is rushing the gaps. Chubby Marks, of course, that's what he does on defense. He plugs the gaps, tries to get through and get penetration. Look for some kind of a trap play here to take advantage of that for Jesuit. Back up to you, Kenny.
On first down, running inside left, it is Ricky Roniger in the game for the first time, and he has nowhere to go. Maybe a yard before Drew Sumage, the outstanding linebacker, the leading tackler on the Crusaders squad with 87 stops on the year, makes the stop here.
Big defensive player. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle the gap 8, so to speak, where everyone on the Brother Martin defense hits the gap and then comes in to try to stop the ball carrier.
Second down, 10 yards to go, the 11-yard line. Running left this time. Again, not much movement in the pile. Maybe a yard. It will be 3rd and 9. Just not much for Ricky Roniger as the Crusaders stack him up defensively. The charge was led defensively for Brother Martin by Heath Howitt, the outstanding inside linebacker. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 yards to go.
I feel the success that Jesuit has had running has come to the outside earlier in the in the last series. Now they try to go inside 2 plays and they're stopped almost cold.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Blue Jays, the I formation behind Saunders once again. Jesuit shows motion, now they stop. Receivers to either side. Rolling to the wide side is Saunders, who stops. Throws in the flat. Good throw, pass caught, first down at the 28-yard line. Perfect throw to Bill Thompson. The outstanding split in. Justin Clark makes the stop.
This is the play that they wanted to run on their last 3rd and long when the quarterback was run down from behind. He rolls out this time. Good penetration, but the blocking keeps everybody out, allowing Galemi to go down, make a big catch for a first down. Let's credit the offensive line of Jesuit that time, Ken.
Thompson with 14 catches. There's Bill Thompson. We can see him on our TV monitor. Split wide to the right on first down, split backs. And they give running left. This time Kreller across the 30. The fullback Kreller to the 35. Running hard for about 7 yards is Brett Kreller, the 5'10", 160-pound senior, who last week had a 3-yard touchdown against Holy Cross. Good block by Boyd Kitchen.
Boy, he did. He leveled someone at the line of scrimmage, kept his feet going, and went downfield to block further.
That will be the last play of the first quarter, as this quarter is by the boards already here at Tad Gormley Stadium. And at the end of 1 quarter of play, here's our score. The Jesuit Blue Jays nothing, and the Brother Martin Crusaders nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis, Louisiana's winningest prep football coach. The only place for Big Easy sports fans to catch the complete high school football story.
For 15 weeks, all the way to the state championship finals at the Dome, we'll bring you the most complete coverage of prep football in the state.
Friday Night Football, live, Friday nights at 10:30 on WGNO TV, Channel 26.
At Bone Ford in New Orleans, we turned our emergency into your advantage. Now the street at Bone Ford in New Orleans at South Broad in Washington is clear, and Bone Ford is easy to get to. But the sale's not over. Every car will be drastically reduced. Every truck will have big savings. And on every van, you'll save more. Bring your title, special financing, appraisers on duty. Selection is big, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans. Buy with confidence. Buy at Bone Ford, your 15-minute dealership in New Orleans.
Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob, live from Tad Gormley Stadium. Second quarter to begin. Jesuit plays a 2nd and 3 from the 35. They run a counter play, running left. It looks good. To 40, the 45, the 50. Kreller to the 45, the 40 and out of bounds. And the Brother Martin 37-yard line is Brett Kreller. Bruce Blanchard on the stop for Brother Martin. And a big play for Jesuit. Brett Kreller with a carry.
Kenny, you talk about execution working perfectly. This time they have the counter delay coming back, and Jesuit just does a good job sealing everybody off, allowing Kreller running around. Boyd, Kitchen and Brubrick just outstanding jobs blocking all the way
Kitchen
down
and
the line.
Brubrick pulling on the play. Cole and Tomlinson leading the way. They got 4 big guys out in front there, and Kreller did the job. Mark Sanji plays for Jesuit. First down, Blue Jays to 37. The give, running left across the 35 to the 34 is the tailback, and that is Todd Galemi on this series. They alternate tailbacks. Danny Fulham on the stop for Brother Martin to pick up a 3. It will be 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Pretty evenly played first quarter, Steve.
It appears there's a flag down. I did not even see it thrown.
A dead ball. Defense, 15 yards, first down.
Dead ball.
Big penalty, personal foul on the defense. That's going to cost Brother Martin 15 yards after the play. So that's a big play for Jesuit. Line of scrimmage will now be the Brother Martin 20 as a result. First down for the Blue Jays at that point with 11:28 to play on the half. Very impressive drive by Jesuit, led by their offensive line at this point. And we knew it was a good one coming in.
Ball control.
Here's that power I formation that the Jays like behind Saunders. Brother Martin showing blitz. They are blitzing. They run left. Cut back, and it's not there for Ricky Roniger as he slipped trying to cut back. Brother Martin was there defensively with the blitz. Justin Clark up from cornerback. They're bringing some people up quickly, but that's the way Coach Bobby Conlon and Chubby Marks, standing right next to him, love to play. Boy, this guy is as good a defensive coach as there is in the state.
It's that big gap 8. They like to hit all the gaps with all the defensive people coming up front, just trying to stuff it at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 11 yards to go. In motion left is Kreller. Saunders telling him to stop now as he looks like he's changing the play. Now Saunders goes in motion right. A lot of confusion here. And they pitch it right, and the flag is down. That'll work against Jesuit. Galemi trying to get outside. Cannot. He's brought down on a nice tackle by Rayon Hill. Again, the secondary tackling well for Brother Martin. We're going to have a procedure penalty, a motion penalty against Jesuit, rather. But Brother Martin will likely decline it here, Steve.
Yes, a lot of confusion that time as the back, Kreller went into motion. He went to his left when really the quarterback Saunders knew that he wanted or should have gone to the right. He finally came back, stopped, turned around, headed over to the right. This time the flag was thrown, but the play just was in shambles from the beginning.
So the 5-yard penalty against Jesuit.
On the offense, is the clock. 3rd down.
It is declined as we surmised, and it will be 3rd down and 11 yards to go for the Blue Jays. from the 22-yard line. The play in from the sidelines.
Once again, we see the tail end of a play on our replay where Brother Martin really had it sniffed out perfectly, just stretched it out. No gain. That's why the penalty was declined.
Back to live action, 3rd and 11. Rolling left, Saunders. Rolling left, stops, throws incomplete. Tried to get it to Richard Edrington, his tight end, who slipped on the play, and the coverage was applied very well on the play by Brother Martin, by Bruce Blanchard, the cornerback, and it will be 4th down, and we may see Pat Neely. He's an outstanding field goal kicker. Last week, he had a 37-yarder against Holy Cross. Earlier this year, a 42-yarder against Catholic High. This one off the artificial turf will be a 39 or 40-yard attempt. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to spot it at the 30. It will be a 40-yard attempt for Pat Neely from the right hash mark. He has an angle here. Snap is good. Ball down. Neely hits it in the air, and it is good. Neely from 40 yards out knocks it straight through. Timeout on the field from Tad Gormley Stadium with our score. The Jesuit Blue Jays 3 and the Brother Martin Crusaders nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Knew all along you'd get around to seeing what we've been up to in Kenner, and you won't be disappointed.
Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob, 10:07 to play second quarter, 3-0 Jesuit on a 40-yard field goal by Pat Neely. He has it teed up to kick it off right now. Tell you about the drive in just a moment here. Neely hits it on the ground, bounces, fumbled, and fallen on at the 24-yard line. Ball was bobbled just a bit and fallen on there wisely by Matt Bologna. Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, and Lance Jacob. Neely's kickoff was a bouncer and fielded by Bologna as he fell on it at the 24-yard line, and that's where Brother Martin will start this possession following a good possession for Jesuit.
Yes, the Jays went 68 yards. They did it on 9 plays, and it culminated in a 40-yard field goal by Pat Neely.
Bobby Conlon, his Brother Martin Crusader staff looking on. What a fine staff it is. What a terrific season they've had to date. Wishbone formation behind the quarterback, Stephen Thiel on first down with receivers on either side. Thiel under center. On the keeper is hit and smashed for a loss in the backfield. Tremendous penetration by Sean Weiss. And he really put the leather to Stephen Thiel there.
The Jays coming that time on a blitz of their own. And Kenny, as you said, they just were in the backfield before Thiel had a chance to do anything. Totally smothered by the defense.
Loss of about 4 yards on the play. It will be second down and 14 yards to go from the 20. 9:33 and counting second quarter. Jesuit has a 3-0 lead. Crusaders out of the huddle. Send Crowdis wide to the left. Wide right is Petavino. And a timeout, Brother Martin. Timeout with 9:20 to play first half. Here's our score. Jesuit 3, Brother Martin nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis, Louisiana's winningest prep football coach. The only place for Big Easy sports fans to catch the complete high school football story.
For 15 weeks, all the way to the state championship finals at the Dome, we'll bring you the most complete coverage of prep football in the state.
Friday Night Football, live, Friday nights at 10:30 on WGNO-TV, Channel 26.
The Jesuit Blue Jays performing homecoming festivities for Jesuit. Happy thus far. They lead Brother Martin 3-0. 9:20 to play here in the second quarter. Brother Martin plays a 2nd and 14 from their own 20-yard line. Williams in the slot to the right. Or rather, that's Caracci in the slot this time. Theo wants to throw. Quick drop. Throws in the flat pass caught. Short yardage here. Driven straight back on the play. Will Murphy doing the job defensively as he drove the receiver, Andy Petavino, straight back after a short gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Just a quick hitch to the wide receiver.
Yeah, Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios on second down. We have a chance to watch the replay here via television. Stephen Thiel passed 3 yards to Andy Pettivino, and Will Murphy put the big stick on Pettivino. Jesuit came out to play here this evening. They've had some very hard hits here thus far.
The defense doing a good job right now controlling the line of scrimmage, very aggressive.
All right, 3 wide receivers to the right side formation on third down. Looking that way is Thiel. Heavy pressure, steps up, sacked. Thiel goes down, the ball comes out, but after the play, Trepanier Bonner was the first man there for Jesuit. Marchand Kenny was there as well for the Blue Jays. And also in on the play was Joe Levine, and the Jays are looking good.
Kenny here again. Brother Martin trying to set up, but they really have no time. Thiel just totally under pressure from the get-go. Excellent penetration by the Blue Jay defense.
So a punting situation for Stephen Thiel, who's been knocked around a little bit. Scott deep to receive, standing in his own 45. High snap. Thiel gets it down. Thiel barely gets it off. Good job by Thiel. Ball bounces into Jesuit territory. It'll be down at about the 47-yard line. Great field position for Jesuit with 7:49 to play on the half. They lead 3-0. Downfield level now for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Just to give you an idea of what kind of chess match goes on in high school football. After Chubby Marks was having success rushing the gaps on Brother Martin's defense, Mark Sanji said, we're going to do the same thing. That's what happened on that series. Sean Weiss, Trepanier Bonner, on both of those plays that resulted in losses for Brother Martin, they were shooting the gaps from the defensive end sides on the blitz. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like from field level. Back up to you, Kenny.
The pupil stealing an idea from the teacher. 7:49 to play first half. 3-0 Jesuit on top. Full house backfield on first down. The give to Roniger running left. Roniger pumping those knees across midfield to about the 46. Boy, he didn't look like he had much there, Steve, but Roniger just kept pumping along and found himself about 6 yards before Adam Sill could bring him down.
It appeared he was going to be thrown for a loss, possibly in the backfield. He evaded a tackler who came up, who did shoot the gap, got into the backfield. He stepped over him and picked up about 5, almost 6 yards.
2nd and 4. Jesuit at the Brother Martin 45-yard line. Again, the power I formation behind Saunders. Gives to Galemi running left. Rather, that is Kreller running left. Kreller is across the 45 and down about the 44-yard line. Still a couple of yards short of a first down before Heath Howard can make the stop. You know, Kreller's a good blocker, and he's a very dependable runner as well.
That time, Brother Martin did shoot the gaps. They were in the backfield again. Good penetration. In fact, the left cornerback, Justin Clark, in the backfield, could have had a big loss, but the ball carrier got around him.
Again, the power I formation. It's 3rd down and 2 yards to go from the 45. Quick snap. Running right, fighting for first down yardage, and apparently get it to a 41-yard line. Great drive on the play. Damon Tollier makes the stop of Ricky Roniger, who is really running hard on this series.
Roniger did an excellent job of evading the blitz of Heath Howard. Howard was in the backfield, got by him, he missed that, made him miss, and now they're going to possibly measure.
Well, the Jesuit side complaining they feel like they didn't get a real good mark that time, and as a result, they may have a measurement, and a change will come out here. 6:23 to play in the half, 3-0 Jesuit on top. This one's going to be close. First down Jesuit at the 41-yard line. He got it by 2 noses of the football.
Chain came down right in the middle of that football, and of course, Coach Sanji thought that they had it by more than that when the play was run.
A look at Brian Saunders as he leads his team back to battle for Jesuit. At the 41-yard line. Blue Jays driving, leading 3-0. Again, the power I formation behind Saunders. Takes the snap, running right, Kreller. Kreller hit and drop. No gain on the play. Fine play by Matt Massey, the outside linebacker at 5'10", 185, a senior. Massey read it and made the stop. Sure tacklers on the Brother Martin defense, led by those 3 linebackers, Sumich, Howard, and Massey, who do such a fine job.
Here we see on our replay, Saunders handing off, but as you said, Kenny, Saunders just shot the gap, locked up the ball carrier, dropping for no gain.
2nd and 10, the Brother Martin 41. Saunders wants to throw, stops, throws, sideline, receiver slipped, incomplete at about the 25-yard line. tried to get it out there to Richard Edrington, who couldn't keep his feet. So he tried to come back to the football, and it will be 3rd and 10. And Saunders was under heavy pressure.
He really was. Mike Kane just had him smothered as he tried to throw the ball. I was surprised he even got it off. Kane just totally engulfed him as he set up the pass.
Mark Sanji looking on from the Jesuit sideline. 5:29 to play in the half. Jays lead by 3. Here's a 3rd and 10 from the Brother Martin 41-yard line. Galemi dots the power I. Off the fake. Saunders wants to throw a screen and does to Galemi. Galemi on the left side of the 40 and knocked out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. He picks up about 6 yards on the play, but he will be short of a first down here. Matt Masson was there defensively for Brother Martin. And Jesuit will be faced with a decision here on 4th and 4.
All right, Jesuit goes to a little delay screen that time. Saunders faking to his back, letting the rush come through. He gets it off. Now Galemi's going to turn upfield. But again, good pursuit by the Brother Martin defense to stop that from being a long gainer.
Really good job by Massey taking on the block of Cola there. And there is an option being discussed with Brother Martin, so there must have been a flag on the near side of the field, Steve. We could not see that flag, but there is a penalty apparently against Jesuit here.
Probably ineligible receiver.
I would have a hold
Holding.
on the offense. Is declined. We play 4th down.
There's an interesting decision. The holding penalty declined. It's 4th down and about 4.5. Brother Martin declines it. Jesuit, as a result, is apparently going to punt. Now, this could be construed as 4-down territory, Steve, but the Jays are going to play the field position game here, apparently.
Well, because I think the way their defense has been playing, Ken.
I said apparently. It's a great place for a fake or to try to draw him off sides. The opponent's 35, Neely in punt formation. Takes the snap. No fake here. He'll kick it toward the sideline. It's a high kick. It goes out of bounds, and that's really the official's discretion. It was well out of the field of play. They're going to mark it at about the 16-yard line, so it turns out okay for Jesuit. Brother Martin will start from their own 16 with 5:12 to play in the half, trailing the Jays 3-0. Coming up at halftime, Steve, we'll witness some homecoming festivities. For radio, we'll talk with Barry Hebert, the athletic director of Brother Martin, as well.
I was going to say, I think Jesuit has executed their game plan pretty well tonight. They are a ball control offense. It's going to be interesting to see time of possession when this first half comes to an end.
Brother Martin at the 16-yard line, far side of the field, the left side, twin receivers to that side on first down. Williams in the slot, now in motion to the right side. Thiel gives it straight ahead to the fullback, Ascani. Ascani to about the 19, perhaps, a gain of 2.5, maybe 3 yards on the play. Tough going because Marchant Kenny was there defensively. When you run at Kenny and Tredigo, you're not going to have a whole lot of success, generally speaking. Here we go.
Jesuit just stacking it up inside. It's really tough going on the inside. I think Brother Martin's going to have to try to go outside if they're going to try to pick up some yardage here.
Ryan Parrish, the big 250-pound senior tackle there as well. Second down. 7 yards to go officially from the 19-yard line. Option play left, the pitch to Caracci. Gets a block, trying to get outside. He gets away from a tackle. Caracci across the 20. Caracci to about the 24-yard line before Marchant Kenny can bring him down. Nice determined run by Frank Caracci, who really was stopped in the backfield but fought his way through it. A returning starter who had a 25-yard touchdown against LHSAA a week ago.
Okay, I thought they would have to go outside. Here he goes. He actually misses one tackle. He's going to break a tackle of Will Murphy coming up from this cornerback spot to make a gainer out of it.
Boy, Kenny really pursues well from anywhere on the field. He's a player as we check him out via television. On third down and 1 yard to go, the Crusaders at the 24-yard line. Thiel barking signals. Takes the snap. Runs the option, trying to get outside, and he will not get there. On 3rd and 1, they're trying to go wide, and Terry Urson was sitting there waiting for Mark Williams, and Brother Martin will have to punt it away. I'm a bit surprised there.
Jesuit, just great penetration. Chris Boyd was in the backfield, disrupted the entire play, which allowed Urson to come over and finish off the ball carry. But, Ken, you got to be impressed with the Jesuit defense tonight.
They are doing the job to this point. In punt formation is Stephen Thiel. Deep to receive is Marcus Scott for the Blue Jays, standing at his own 45. Jesuit with a 10-man front. Let's see if they're coming. Brother Martin's had some trouble getting him off. High snap again. Here come the Jays, and they get it off again. Thiel hits it high and short. Bounces around midfield and will be killed at the Jesuit 47. So again, the Blue Jays will get great field position out of this, leading 3-0 with 3:43 to play in the half.
Ben Tarantino on the punt block team for Jesuit is coming oh so close on his last attempts to block the punt.
How close is oh so close.
Oh, I'd say about 6 inches.
Just wanted to get a clarification on that. Ed Trey and Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob, and our fine crews from WSMB and Cox Cable, live from Tad Gormley Stadium on WSMB. Saunders, sprint handoff, running right, trying to get outside. Golemi is driven down hard. Nice open field tackle for Brother Martin by Danny Fulham, the outstanding free safety, the senior, a returning starter. Here's a kid that has 4 interceptions on the year.
This play starts out. Golemi comes good blocking at the line of scrimmage, a big hole, but he said the free safety comes up, an excellent open field tackle, just cut Golemi down.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 9. Jesuit from their own 47-yard line officially. Full house backfield behind Brian Saunders. Sets him down, takes the snap, runs the counter play left. It's roomy. 45-40, first down Jesuit. It's Preller on the counter to the 39-yard line. Preller with a pickup of 12 yards before Danny Fulham can make the stop once again. And that play was well blocked on the left side by Chris Cola and Jason Tomlinson.
Great execution. They come back with delay counter. Beautiful blocking. What a hole. Excellent kick-out block by Bruberg.
6'3", 250 is Eric Bruberg, and a guy that's going to play Division I college football somewhere soon. 1st and 10, Jesuit at the Brother Martin 39-yard line. Power I formation again behind Saunders, takes the snap. He gives it running inside Golemi to the 38. He fumbled the football. Who's got it? Jesuit apparently has recovered at the 36-yard line as the ball came loose, but the Jays managed to come up with it as Golemi lost the handle there. Comes out of the game.
The linebacker for Brother Martin, Sumek, I think, hitting at the line of scrimmage. Ken, the ball was fumbled at the line of scrimmage. Luckily, Jesuit recovers it. They pick up about 3 or 4 yards on the fumble.
Or unluckily, if you're Brother Martin, Sumich on the stop, 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Power I formation again with Roniger dotting the I. Saunders with the snap. And he gives it right, and Roniger has nowhere to go. That time, Sumich was there again, along with Sidney Bartholomew, the big 6'5", 230-pound senior who's playing outstanding football for Brother Martin.
And the rush all started with the inside linebacker.
Timeout taken by Jesuit. So a timeout on the field with 1:52 to play first half. Our score, the Blue Jays 3 and the Crusaders nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At Bone Ford in New Orleans, we turned our emergency into your advantage. Now the street at Bone Ford in New Orleans at South Broad in Washington is clear, and Bone Ford is easy to get you. But the sale's not over. Every car will be drastically reduced. Every truck will have big savings. And on every van, you'll save more. Bring your title, special financing, appraisers on duty. Selection is big, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans. Buy with confidence. Buy at Bone Ford, your 15-minute dealership in New Orleans.
The Jesuit Blue Jays on the field, leading 3-0 with 1:52 to play in the half. Play coming in from the sidelines on 3rd and 8. Jesuit from the Brother Martin 37. Jays have enjoyed outstanding field position with one exception on their possessions thus far this evening. Mark Sanji and his staff looking on.
Also, they have controlled this football game, the ball control offense.
3rd down, Jesuit. 3 receivers left on 3rd down. Rolling out is Saunders for Jesuit. Saunders stops, throws toward the sideline, incomplete. And a flag is down. That's probably an ineligible receiver downfield as we get a look at Jason Tomlinson about 3 or 4 yards up the field for Jesuit. Saunders had broken containment and could have run there, but opted to throw, and the pass was incomplete.
You're right on the call. The official did signal ineligible receiver downfield against the Jesuit Blue Jays.
Brother Martin, of course, with the option. It will be 4th down for Jesuit.
We have an illegal receiver downfield on the offense. The penalty is declined. We'll put 4th down.
Of course, they decline it. It is 4th and 7. Brett Kreller has had a fine game thus far, Steve.
He's rushed the ball for 51 yards on 5 attempts.
Pat Neely comes in to punt for Jesuit, standing around midfield. Fulham drops deep to receive for Martin. Rigby, the center. High snap. Neely gets it down under pressure, gets it away toward the right sideline. Good job by Neely. He kicks it into the end zone. That's a touchback. But a very fine job by Pat Neely, who's been the standout player thus far.
Pat Neely, all of 5'8", really went up high that time to catch the snap that was apparently going to sail over his head. Did a good job getting it and getting the punt off.
Boy, what a weapon he is. As good a place kicker and punter as he is, he's just a sophomore, Steve.
Great little player, great competitor, handling all the kicking duties for the Jesuit Blue Jays.
Crusaders 1st and 10, their own 20-yard line with 1:38 to play in the first half. And the Crusaders with a double slot formation here behind Thiel. Now in motion, they send Williams. Running the option, Thiel is going to be dragged down for about a yard gain. And there's Marchant Kenny again.
Kenny is so quick.
Thank you.
Coming from his linebacker position. Read the play, knifed in, and good effort by Marchant.
2nd down and 9. I noticed you switched things around there. 2nd and 9, Crusaders, their own 21-yard line. Again, the double slot formation. In motion once again is Williams. They give it to Ascani straight ahead with a big hole. Breaks a tackle across the 31st down as he bowls to about the 34-yard line. First time that Dante Ascani has really had running room this evening. Ben Tarantino able to make the stop at the 34. And a rare first down for the Crusaders.
Huge hole at the line of scrimmage. Big gaping hole. And as you said, the fullback, first time he's had success running right up the middle.
Matt Mollison with a good block for the Crusaders. Bobby Conlon like that. 50 seconds and counting in the first half. 3-0 Jesuit. Crowdis wide left, Bettavino wide right for the Crusaders. Thiel wants to throw. It's a slant route caught by Crowdis to the 43-yard line. Pick up of about 7 yards. Will Murphy able to make the stop. 35 seconds and counting for Brother Martin. They want to run their hurry-up offense here as they've got field position. 30 seconds and counting. Receivers on either side. Thiel must call timeout. So a timeout taken with 27 seconds to play first half with our score. Jesuit 3 and Brother Martin nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis, Louisiana's winningest prep football coach. The only place for Big Easy sports fans to catch the complete high school football story.
For 15 weeks, all the way to the state championship finals at the Dome, we'll bring you the most complete coverage of prep football in the state.
Friday Night Football, live, Friday nights at 10:30 on WGNO TV, Channel 26.
2nd and 1, Brother Martin, the 44-yard line. Thiel to throw, heavy pressure. Rolling away from one man, and another caught a sack. And there is Trepanier Bonner once again. 2nd sack for Bonner this evening. He's been in the backfield all night long.
Bonner, 6'2", 210 pounds, junior. And as you said, Kenny, just an excellent defensive play. As Thiel tries to set up and throw, pressure immediately. He tries to go outside. Watch Bonner just reach in with one hand and drag him down.
Oh, that's a great shot and a good job by Bonner. The initial pressure by Weiss as the first half comes to a close from Tag Gormley Stadium. At the end of one half of play, here's our score. The Jesuit Blue Jays 3 and the Brother Martin Crusaders nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
Prep Football on Cox Cable is brought to you by Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. Kenner, on the move. Friday Night Football on WGNO TV, Channel 26. And Cox Cable Jefferson Parish, guaranteed star quality.
At Bone Ford in New Orleans, we turned our emergency into your advantage. Now the street at Bone Ford in New Orleans at South Broad in Washington is clear, and Bone Ford is easy to get to. But the sale's not over. Every car will be drastically reduced. Every truck will have big savings. And on every van, you'll save more. Bring your title, special financing, appraisers on duty. Selection is big, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans. Buy with confidence. Buy at Bone Ford, your 15-minute dealership in New Orleans. Bone Ford.
Knew all along you'd get around to seeing what we've been up to in Kenner, and you won't be disappointed.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis, Louisiana's winningest prep football coach. The only place for Big Easy sports fans to catch the complete high school football story.
For 15 weeks, all the way to the state championship finals at the Dome, we'll bring you the most complete coverage of prep football in the state.
Friday Night Football, live, Friday nights at 10:30 on WGNO TV, Channel 26.
Impact, reach, frequency. It's how you get the most for your media dollars. And with cable's exclusive programming, you can target those dollars directly to the audiences you're after. Even hard-to-reach upscale light TV viewers who plug into the world every day with cable's great news channels. So if your aim is results, target your next message with cable. Advertisers are getting the picture.
Really in Jesuit's favor, and this is what Mark Sanji wanted to do: control the football, keep it away from that high-powered Brother Martin attack. They've scored 35 points in their last 2 or 3 games, so just a credit to the Blue Jay defense.
Yeah, the Blue Jays leading Brother Martin 3-0. Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob down on the field. Homecoming festivities for Jesuit going on the field as we speak. Huge crowd, as we mentioned here this evening. The stadium seats about 24,000, and I mean, there is a big crowd here this evening. This is as big a crowd as I've seen at the stadium this year. We've seen some games here. So the enthusiasm for high school football certainly still exists, and why not when you've got a game of this magnitude?
I think a lot of people may be here who really don't have a direct affiliation with either Jesuit or Brother Martin, just to see a good high school football game. And, of course, it is homecoming for Jesuit.
2 teams about to emerge to come out here for the second half. Our own Lance Jacob is going to try to chat with Coach Mark Sanji of Jesuit as he comes back out onto the field. What impressed you most in the first half, Steve?
Well, I think just the dominance of the Jesuit defense. They really came out, really stopped the high-powered offense of Brother Martin. So I've really been impressed with the defensive play of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, up front, you have to be impressed with what they've accomplished. They've been able, for the most part, to take the option offense away. Field did have one nice run, and we look at the numbers officially here via television, Steve, and it reflects the fact that Jesuit has been in control.
Brother Martin only picking up 56 yards rushing to Jesuit's 95. Passing 22 yards for Jesuit, 12 for Brother Martin. Total offense, Jesuit 117 to Brother Martin 68.
All right, let's go down field level with Lance Jacob. He has Mark Sanji with him. Lance?
Thanks a lot, Kenny. With me right now, Mark Sanji. Coach, your defense is just playing tremendous ball. You're working on, you already have 10 scoreless quarters under their belt. They're looking to go number 11.
Well, you know, we're just going to try to keep them out of the end zone. That's all we can do. We're playing some good defense. That's true right now. Of course, I don't think 3 points is going to win it. We got to turn a little bit more into it on offense with the offensive line. Backs got to keep running hard.
Coach, I know you want to get back to your team. Thank you for the time. That's going to do it from field level. Kenny, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Lance. As the Crusaders come back onto the field, it is halftime at Tag Gormley Stadium with Jesuit on top for Brother Martin by the score of 3-0. We will take time out here, and we'll return with the opening kickoff to start the second half in just a moment on this, the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football, hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis, Louisiana's winningest prep football coach. The only place for Big Easy sports fans to catch the complete high school football story.
For 15 weeks, all the way to the state championship finals at the Dome, we'll bring you the most complete coverage of prep football in the state.
Friday Night Football, live, Friday nights at 10:30 on WGNO TV, Channel 26.
At Bone Ford in New Orleans, we turned our emergency into your advantage. Now the street at Bone Ford in New Orleans at South Broad in Washington is clear, and Bone Ford is easy to get to. But the sale's not over. Every car will be drastically reduced. Every truck will have big savings. And on every van, you'll save more. Bring your title, special financing, appraisers on duty. Selection is big, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans. Buy with confidence. Buy at Bone Ford, your 15-minute dealership in New Orleans. Bone Ford.
Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob at Tag Gormley Stadium. 3-0 Jesuit on top. Second half about to begin. Pat Neely will tee it up to kick it off to the Crusaders. Deep to receive for Brother Martin. will be Mark Williams, 37, along with Danny Fulham as we get set to get underway in the second half. Here is Neely's kick. It's a grounder once again. Bounces off of a short man. It's a free ball and fallen on at the 32-yard line by Brother Martin. That's what Neely wants to do. That's a planned kick. Jesuit not wanting to kick it deep because of the wedge return by Brother Martin. And Matt Polona, for the second time, falls on the football safely at the 32. So Matt's been a busy young man here this evening.
He really has. He avoided keeping Jesuit from recovering the last two kickoffs. Polona doing a good job following on the football, protecting it, not trying to pick it up and run with it.
Let's see what adjustments the Crusader offense has made as the second half is about to get started. Thiel, the quarterback, under center, full house backfield behind him on first down. He gives it to Ascani. That's usually a good idea, but he's stuffed immediately by big Ryan Parrish. The 5'11", 250-pound senior is there, and Parrish just met Ascani head-on and stopped him cold.
Parrish again doing a good job clogging up the middle, being assisted there by Urston and others in the front defensive line of Jesuit. And as we mentioned earlier, Jesuit really doing a good job just taking the offense away from Brother Martin.
Well, Brother Martin, not a bad idea. They really need to establish Ascani. He's their #1 option, and thus far they have not been able to get the fullback going to this point. Twin receivers left, second down at 8 yards to go, the 32. Williams in motion right. Thiel wants to run the option, cuts it inside. He's got quickness, breaks a tackle. Thiel across the 40 and close to the 42. He is near his first down before Ryan Parrish can drag him down. Stephen Thiel is so quick. That's what impresses you most. He made a nice read to cut inside there.
He really did. You see him faking to his fullback, and now he sees immediately that the pitch man is cut off, catches some daylight out of the corner of his eye, does a good job cutting up, breaking a tackle, picking up a big gainer.
Now, he may have to measure here. It's that close. And they will bring the chains out, in fact, with 10:59 to play in the third quarter. 3-0 Blue Jays on top. And, boy, that's close, isn't it? Check that out. Camera right on the spot. That much, folks. And for radio listeners, that much means about 1.5 inches. It's really close. Bobby Conlon looking on. Let's see if the proverbial sneak is in order here, or if Dante Ascani gets the football on third down and, just more than 1 inch, 3rd and inches.
I would go with the sneak myself.
Safe play. Thiel under center. Barking signals, full house backfield. They give it to Ascani. He gets the first down of the 44. Fights his way close to the 45. Marchand Kenny wraps him up, but he has his first down. So the Crusaders move the chains, and they have good field position for a rare occasion. That's been part of their problem, Steve.
Really, they haven't had the field position. Here again, we see just the big fullback hitting right between his guard and center, picking up the first down.
Strapanier Bonner holding on at the bottom. Kenny on top. Ascani, the fullback, getting untracked a little bit here to start the second half. Strong left formation. Twin receivers to that side. Thiel barking signals, now sends Williams in motion to the right, takes the snap, and gives it straight ahead. Short yardage, maybe a yard for Dante Ascani. Ascani was wrapped up immediately once again by Ryan Parrish and Marchand Kenny. Kenny getting up off the bottom of the pile. Boy, he's such an aggressive player. Just love the way he plays.
6'2", 220-pound senior. Just been all over the football field tonight.
Bobby Conlon rolling up his sleeves on the Brother Martin sideline. He's getting down to business, folks. A gain of 2, second down and 8 yards to go, Crusaders at the 46-yard line. Williams in the slot left. One receiver to the left side otherwise. And the give is to the tailback with some running room across midfield in the Jesuit territory and close to a first down. It appears to be Caracci. Ryan Parrish able to make the stop. Jesuit says he fumbled the football, but the officials aren't buying it. Frank Caracci in the Jesuit territory, close to a first down. Ball came loose, but nothing doing for the Jays. Caracci, 3rd in rushing on the Martin squad. 53 carries, 293 yards coming in. Impressive in that he averages 5.5 yards a carry.
Caracci takes the ball. He breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Good blocking, and Caracci just does a good job running. Now we're watching a replay, and I tell you what, it looks like the ball was stripped from him right before he hit the ground.
By Bonner and Parrish. The question was, had the whistle blown because he was stood up. We're watching slow motion on our television replay, and the whistle could have been blown, and that we can't tell you prior to the fumble. 3rd down and less than a yard. The give in the backfield, hit in the backfield, and stopped short of the first down is Caracci. Trying to run left, he loses a yard, and it will be 4th down and 2. Steve, that's the second time tonight they've had a 3rd and 1 and lost yardage.
Just a great effort by Urson and Sean Weiss coming in that time. It seems like when Jesuit has to have the penetration on the big plays, they come up with it.
So a punting situation for Brother Martin, apparently. Stephen Theo will punt. Scott is standing deep at his 20. Low snap this time with plenty of time. He hits it straight up. Needs a Brother Martin bounce to be effective. And it takes one. Look at that bounce on the turf. Wow. Inside the 20 and all the way down to about the 13-yard line. That ball bounced at the 34-yard line. Took a 21-yard roll.
I tell you what, initially it's about a 8-yard punt that takes a 21-yard roll. Great job by Theo getting a good bounce on that high punt.
Turns out to be very effective. The crowd looking on, enjoying it. And Jesuit will start its first possession deep in its own territory. 13-yard line officially with 8:06 to play third quarter. 3-0 the Jays on top. Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob from Tad Gormley Stadium. Power I formation behind Saunders on first down. The cutter and fighting his way through a tackle, trying to get to the line of scrimmage and cannot, is the tailback, and I believe that's Galemi. Trying to run right. It was Ricky Roniger in the game. Roniger starting the second half at tailback. The Martin defense fired up, stops Roniger for a yard loss. It will be second down at 11.
I was going to say, you could see that the Martin defense has determination in their eyes. They come out with an all-out blitz on the first play. Big Sidney Bartholomew trying to rally his troops behind him.
Second down, 11 yards to go from the 12. Power I formation again. And the pitch to Galemi running right. Galemi tripped up. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Galemi was tripped up by Danny Fulham, who penetrated and made the play from free safety.
That's about the second or third time that Fulham has come up from his safety position, shooting the gap.
Right over. 25 sprint ball. Hurry up.
Doing a good job of making an open field tackle.
Well, you heard the call. 25 sprint draw from Mark Sanji as we're able to get in there.
Here we're watching the replay. Galemi trying to sprint, and then Fulham comes knifing in between some would-be blockers to cut him down.
Now whistles are blowing everywhere to stop play. And a timeout will be taken by Brother Martin. So a timeout on the field with 6:47 to play third quarter with our score. Jesuit 3, Brother Martin nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, 5 cents goes a long way. The Pontchartrain Center has over 35,000 square feet of exhibit space and 6 spacious meeting rooms, all for just 5 cents a square foot. If you're looking for a place to hold your next convention, meeting, seminar, or banquet, Kenner's Pontchartrain Center is New Orleans' newest meeting alternative. All meal functions are catered by Marie's to assure the finest in banquet cuisine. When you're looking for a quality convention or meeting facility with affordable rates, call the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner.
Third quarter, 3-0 Jesuit on top for Brother Martin. Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios and Lance Jacob. Jesuit with a third down and 10 officially for their own 13. High formation behind the quarterback, Brian Saunders. Galemi dots the I. Kreller is the up back. Twin receivers left. Now they split the backs. And they give it to Galemi running left with some room. Galemi to the 15, trying to get outside, cuts it back, pushes to the 20, but he's short of a first down. Rayon Hill makes the stop. Ken Trahan along with Steve Barrios on third down and 10. Jesuit runs Galemi left, and Galemi gets about 7 yards to the 20-yard line, and Jesuit will come up short, and they'll have to punt it away.
Good job of blocking by the Jesuit offensive line. Galemi does an excellent job trying to follow his blockers as much as he can down the field. Big fourth down, they're going to have to punt.
Pat Neely will punt it away. Fulham is deep to receive, standing at his 42. Good snap. Neely gets it. Neely hits it. Spiral, bounces at about midfield. Fulham feels it on the bounce in his own 40. Back to the 45, breaks a tackle, and goes down at about the 47-yard line. In the arms there of 24, Will Murphy. And Brother Martin will have good field position with 5:59 to play third quarter, trailing 3-0.
Probably the best field position that Brother Martin has had the entire football game in starting this drive. Once again, the time of possession heavily favored to Jesuit.
Here's the Class 5A statewide rankings. Neville, number 1 at 8-0, ranked nationally as well. Karen Crow, Ouachita, Thibodaux, Catholic, a team Jesuit beat. Airline, West Monroe, St. Aug, Brother Martin is 9th, and Barb is 10th on first down. Thiel on the keeper. He's in the open at the 45, cuts outside of the 42, and has a first down for Brother Martin. Stephen Thiel wrapped up by Travis Bonifasic, but he gains 11 yards for a first down. And Thiel comes up limping, and boy, that's scary.
It really would be a tremendous blow for the Brother Martin offense. We pick up the play with Thiel busting through after an excellent fake by his fullback, who actually, when he took the fake, went in and blocked or knocked down a couple of would-be defenders, allowing Thiel to break through the gap.
Well, Thiel definitely won't be running an option here. He is limping, and will hand this off to somebody. Full house backfield behind him on first down. Takes the snap and does give it off straight ahead. Williams running inside, nothing doing. Maybe a yard. He is wrapped up by big 6'5" Chip Wainwright, who grabbed him and just threw him back. That's 6'5", 220 against 5'6", 145, folks.
Wainwright really standing his ground, reads the play of the back, second back coming through, fights through a block of the tackle, and just brings him down.
Fought through the block of the left guard, Victor Suwan, 56, trying to handle Wainwright. That's been a great battle up front all day. Line against line, two physical teams. Thiel thus far has been the man for Brother Martin.
7 rushes for 52 yards.
2nd and 8 from the 40. Thiel straight drop back, wants to throw deep down the sideline against man coverage, incomplete, and good coverage there. The coverage applied by Will Murphy. And they try to get it to Pedavino, but he was well covered by Murphy. Murphy, the 5'9" junior, a returning starter, as Bobby Conlon went for the downs there, but couldn't come up with anything good.
Not a bad play. Maybe keeping the Blue Jays secondary honest. And I think that Thiel may have to resort to more passing to try to get something going against this Jay defense.
Well, they got man coverage there. It's what you want, but good coverage by Murphy. 3rd down and 8 from the 40. 3 receivers to the right side. Thiel rolling that way. Steps up, throws deep toward the sideline, and underthrown, incomplete. Trying to get it out there for Mark Williams, who was isolated on Ben Tarantino, the free safety. But the pass was short, and a good push defensively by Chip Wainwright up front.
Once again, Thiel not having a lot of time to set up or allow his receivers to get in position running their patterns. He's just been under tremendous pressure in every pass attempt tonight.
So a punting situation. Martin unable to take advantage of the great field position. It's become a punting duel. Thiel will punt it away. Marcus Scott is deep to receive for Jesuit. Great pressure. He gets it off toward the sideline. Very effective kick. Bounces at the 20. Goes sideways and out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Took a crazy bounce there. They'll actually mark it at the 20. So Jesuit comes out of this okay with decent field position. 4:31 to play, 3rd quarter. Still leading 3-0. Let's go down field level now to this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Right now, you're seeing Bobby Conlon settling down and turning this game into a battle of field position. With those 2 punts right there, they're hoping to pin Jesuit deep and try and get good field position. It's worked once, but they didn't take advantage of it on offense. Look for more of the same later in this half. Back up to you, Kenny.
Steve, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get the feeling that this game will be decided by a turnover.
I was just about to say, the exact same thing. It's going to come, these 3 points are really not going to stand up. It's going to come down to a turnover.
Off the play fake, Saunders wants to throw deep on first down, underthrown, and almost intercepted by Rayon Hill. Well, Matt Roger was actually open on the play fake, going deep, but the pass was woefully underthrown. And as it turned out, Rayon Hill and Danny Fulham kind of knocked it away from each other.
We talked about it earlier, how much play fake could be effective after the way Jesuit's been running. You see Saunders just setting back and throwing. Now, you're going to see Danny Fulham coming in to make the reception, and then his own strong safety, Hill, actually knocks it. Fulham had a beat on the ball all the way. 2nd
and 10, Jesuit from their own 20. Twin receivers for Jesuit, 1 on each side. Split backs, and now motion on the play from Roniger. Saunders gives it straight ahead and nothing doing. Wiped down the play is Queller for a loss of a couple. Damon Tullier, the 230-pound sophomore, penetrating for the Crusaders.
Nothing going that time. Brother Martin just stuffing the play at the line, sniffing it out. And as you said, the big tackle going off now, Danny Trouillet.
Damon Tullier.
Damon, excuse me.
Damon. Damon goes out. Inbo is in. 3rd down. 13 yards to go from the 17. 3:50 and counting in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers to the left side. A trip set for Jesuit. A single setback behind the quarterback, who rolls that way. It's a new quarterback, Ryan Bro, who throws, and it's caught up at about the 29-yard line. Looks like he might be short by a yard on the first down. Bruce Blanchard on the stop. Ryan Bro with the pass. Caught by Bill Thompson, but he looks like he's a yard short, Steve.
Really does. On a replay, we see Bro rolling out. They flooded the zone against the secondary of Brother Martin. He shoots a bullet. Nice catch by Roger, but he's going to come up a little short.
Yeah, it was Matt Roger on the catch, but he's a yard short, and on 4th and 1, Neely will have to punt it away for Jesuit. High snap, pulls it down, no pressure, gets it off. Toward the sideline, Fulham over there to catch it. Fulham is going to be brought down hard at about the 35-yard line. Effective kick and good coverage by Jesuit. And there he is again, folks. Second straight time. Will Murphy is downfield to make the stop for Jesuit on special teams.
We have seen some outstanding special teams play. Murphy coming down 2 times. Both of the last Blue Jay punts, he's down there making the stop.
It's a game for the purists here this evening. We have seen some outstanding hitting on both sides, some really good tackling.
Just an excellent defensive struggle right now going on between Brother Martin and Jesuit. Kind of like two heavyweight fighters just, you know, slugging it out in the latter rounds, and who's going to land that deciding punch.
Full house backfield behind Thiel on first down. Thiel gives it straight ahead, little or nothing. They try to get a scanty started, but they just can't do it. Marchant, Kenny, and Sean Weiss are making sure of that defensively. How many times have we called Kenny's name this evening? And Sean Weiss, of course, has been terrific. We'd like to thank the WSMB Talk Radio 1350 AM Cox Cable sponsors. Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. Kenner on the Move, WGNO TV Channel 26 and Friday Night Football. Cable Rep Advertising and Cox Cable Star Quality Guaranteed. On second down, Thiel is hit at the line of scrimmage, driven straight back. He is stuffed. And the penetration by 92 Chris Voigt, the 6'1", 200-pound senior. They hit the fullback, they hit the quarterback, they're hitting everybody.
As Steele comes down the line, he is just totally engulfed by the safety who comes up, smacks both the ball carrier and Thiel. I think if Steele tried to hand it off, he would have given it to Barnett.
Yeah, the linebacker Barnett was the guy that made the hit initially. But Jesuit just had that play well defensed. Third down, 7 yards to go. Special thanks to Prime Equipment on the West Bank Expressway in Harvey for providing us with our end zone scissor lift. Great end zone shot we get every week for you. In motion left is Caracci. Rolling that way is Steele under pressure. Heavy pressure, sack back at the 28-yard line. The pressure from that same man, Joe Barnett, the linebacker.
We just talked about Barnett on a play before, how he had such excellent penetration in the line of scrimmage. Now Thiel trying to roll out, looking for someone downfield, and there's Barnett. Thiel turns to run, but he just can't get going.
So it'll be 4th down, 17 yards to go for the Crusaders, and Thiel will drop into punt formation. Standing at his own 13. Scott deep to receive at his 35-yard line. Good snap. Thiel with time. Gets it off. End over end kick. They'll leave it alone. It'll bounce at the 45. Takes a big Crusader bounce. Inside the 35. Inside the 30. Inside the 25. All the way down to about the 19-yard line. That has been a big weapon for Thiel. He's underkicked the receiver all night long, and he's gotten some great bounces, and he pins Jesuit deep in the hole with 49 seconds to play third quarter. In a 3-0 game, field position so important because of the potential of the turnovers, Steve.
I was just about to say that. It looked like Jesuit would come out of this swap of the football with good field position. The ball just takes a tremendous roll for the Brother Martin Crusaders.
Now, Saunders is back in at quarterback on this series. We saw Ryan Bro on the last series for a play. I formation behind Saunders. 1st and 10 from the 19, and now in motion is Kreller left. And they give it to the I-back. Across the 20 to the 21-yard line is Roniger for about 2, and that's all. Crusaders there defensively in the person of Adam Sill, the defensive end. It'll be a gain of 2, 2nd and 8, 35 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. At the conclusion of this game, we will select our Cox Cable ESPN player of the game. That particular player will receive a game ball courtesy of ESPN and Cox Cable, as well as a trophy from AAA Trophies on Florida Boulevard in Kenner. Receivers to either side on 2nd and 8. This could be the last play of the third quarter. Saunders pitching right to Roniger. Gets blockers out in front. 20, 25, 30, 32, and a first down at the 33 for Ricky Roniger on a good-looking play. The Jays had him outmanned. Mike Kane finally able to make the stop with 7 seconds to play in the quarter.
Good execution that time by the Blue Jay line. Roniger took the toss from the quarterback. Saunders, he just swept around the end. Nice penetration.
And the clock will run out here, and that will be the end of the third quarter from Tad Gormley Stadium in this Battle of Titans in District 10 5A. Here's our score. Jesuit 3, Brother Martin, nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
At Bone Ford in New Orleans, we turned our emergency into your advantage. Now the street at Bone Ford in New Orleans at South Broad in Washington is clear, and Bone Ford is easy to get to. But the sale's not over. Every car will be drastically reduced. Every truck will have big savings. And on every van, you'll save more. Bring your title, special financing, appraisers on duty. Selection is big, so come to the original Bone Ford in New Orleans. Buy with confidence. Buy at Bone Ford, your 15-minute dealership in New Orleans. Bone Ford.
Knew all along you'd get around to seeing what we've been up to in Kenner, and you won't be disappointed.
Fourth quarter set to begin. Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob live from Tag Gormley Stadium on WSMB in New Orleans. Cox Cable, New Orleans and Jefferson Parish. First down, 10 yards to go. The 32-yard line for Jesuit. The give is to Roniger up the middle, fighting his way across the 35 near the 36. Has about 3 tough yards for Ricky Roniger. He's gotten the tough yardage tonight. Sidney Bartholomew in on the stop. The 6'5", 230-pounder who's emerged as a very fine player and a good college prospect.
Was the son of the mayor, and I'm sure he's real proud of his young son.
Yeah, the Times-Picayune had a nice little feature on the two very recently. Receivers to either side on second down and 7. And there is an animal on the field. There is a dog on the field. They blow the whistles and stop this play dead as a dog is running. There you go. He's going to score a touchdown. He's across the stripe. Did he break the plane? Yes. Our cameras have captured it here at Tad Gormley Stadium.
Good-looking dog, too.
Yeah. Special. Now he's going to run some
here
track.
He goes. He's coming back.
This dog is going to come back onto the field. He wants to play. He's at the 30. He's at the 35. Crossing field to the 40. Look at the speed at the 45-yard line. Danny Fulham takes a look at him and says, I'm not tackling this thing. That's right, folks. If you're listening, we have a dog on the field. And it is a good-looking dog now that you mention it. And now he's going to stop. And does anybody have the guts to try to pick this dog up? I mean, this is not a small dog, okay? We're not talking German Shepherd size here, but...
Oh, he is just having the time.
Steve, do you know your breeds at all? Because
I would think that's a cross between a golden retriever and a Labrador.
Well, they're trying to run him off the field with a towel as a lure to get him out of the stadium.
There he goes. He's out of the stadium.
He's gone. Oh, no, he's still in here. He's still in the stadium, and he could end up back on the field. And he is going back toward the field. He is running on the Jesuit sideline, and play is stopped. This is one heck of a moment, folks.
This dog's having a time of his life.
This dog knows he's on camera. That's the thing. This guy's an actor. We're dealing with Lassie here, I think, or is this Rin Tin Tin? What a show at Tad Gormley Stadium. Lance ought to get a field interview with this dog, I think.
Won the dog. Okay, they got him by the collar now.
Yeah, that's the only way. And by the collar with a towel in mouth. And now the dog's fighting back. Oh, where is the SPCA? I think, maybe the local pound would suffice. This dog's just laying down at this point. They're petting him.
He's run out of gas.
This is special. I think he's got cramps running on the turf. I think that's the story. The official word from down on the field, cramps.
Leg cramps.
That's it.
All four of them.
We're going to try to play ball, folks, with 11:27 to play in our final quarter. 3-0 Jesuit. They play a 2nd and 8 at their own 35-yard line officially. I formation behind Saunders. He gives to Roniger inside. Roniger sprints across the 40, the 41, the 42, fighting his way forward. He has about 6 yards on the play. He's going to be about 1.5 yards short of a first down, but a good job of wedge blocking there by the Jays, and it will be 3rd down and short.
Ricky Roniger, 5'8", 175-pound senior. He does a good job, Ken, of following his blockers. We're seeing the replay here. Breaks a tackle, 2. Excellent blocking by Cola.
Chris Cola just standing his man up, creating that hole there. He is a fine player. The dog is still here, folks. The dog is on the side of the field. Chris Colin did such a great job in our game against Rummel a couple of weeks ago, blocking a blue chip player in Billy Barron. 3rd down and 1 for Jesuit at the 41-yard line. And Brother Martin may have encroached, and if so, that's an automatic first down for Jesuit. What a big play that is. Looked like Adam Sill coming across a little prematurely.
And you know, the game has been relatively, not a whole lot of penalties in this football game, but that is a critical penalty going to be called against Brother Martin, giving Jesuit a first down.
We have a dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense. First down.
Well, encroachment on the defense. First down for Jesuit via penalty at their own 47-yard line. And Steve, you were saying?
Just 2 penalties in the game.
That's it. 2 in the entire game, folks.
I want to bring you up to date on the dog, Ken, after this play.
I need you to do that. 1st and 10, the 47-yard line. First things first, Saunders, sprint handoff, Roniger hit in the backfield, stuffed. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage, lost a yard. He was really stuck by Mike Kane with help from Sidney Bartholomew and Adam Sill. Fine defensive play by the Crusaders. A lot of players slow to get up after that contact. I mean, the hitting has been absolutely vicious this evening.
Very fierce. Well, the dog was finally picked up and literally carried out of the stadium. So he's gone.
A loss of 2 officially. Line of scrimmage is the 45-yard line as Chubby Marks looks on watching his defense. 9:50 to play, 2nd down and 12. Jesuit at their own 45-yard line. They send Dyson Roberts wide left, Bill Thompson wide right, the I formation. Behind Saunders, the pitch to Galemi running left, trying to get a block. Gets 1 block, crosses the 45, crosses midfield, goes into Brother Martin territory, and out of bounds at the 48 in the arms of Adam Sill. He managed to get the sideline turn. He just waited for his blocking to develop nicely. That was a smart run by Todd Galemi.
Here we're watching the replay as he sprints out. He's following his blocking. Good job now of evading a tackler, keeping his feet. And that's the thing I think that makes Galemi so dangerous, his ability to keep his balance while running with the football.
And a good kick out block by Brett Kreller, the fullback leading the way as he picks up 7 yards. It's 3rd and 5 at the Brother Martin 48-yard line. Big play here, the wide side of the field, the right side. Jesuit goes to the power I formation. Brother Martin showing blitz. And again, I think they encroached defensively and made contact. And if so, another big penalty against the Crusaders. It could be a first down.
Brother Martin coming with the blitz, an all-out blitz, and I think let's give Saunders some credit. He may be changing up the cadence, all right, and just not fooling, but just throwing the blitzers off from Brother Martin. That's 2 in a row, critical situation.
Boy, this is going to be close to a first down. They had 3rd down and 5. It's a 5-yard penalty. If the mark is correct, it looks like it's about a half a yard short. So it was a long 5. They may have to measure anyway with 9:38 to play here in the ballgame. Boyd Kitchen comes over toward the sideline. Boy, he's a good-looking athlete for Jesuit. He's put together quite well.
He is. He's a big kid, 6'4", 240 pounds. Senior, as we mentioned earlier. He's being looked at by a number of the colleges and universities in the area.
Over to the sideline is Boyd to talk with the Jesuit coaches, and now the chain gang out onto the field. Don't forget, at the conclusion of this one, we'll select our ESPN Cox Cable AAA Trophies player of the game. There's the measurement. It looks like he may have it by the tip of the football, and he does. First down, Jesuit by penalty. 2nd consecutive encroachment penalty, giving Jesuit a first down.
Todd Galemi has 52 yards on 17 carries.
Been a workhorse. He's earned every yard here this evening against that very tough Brother Martin defense. The Jesuit huddle. Brian Saunders with the play from the sidelines. They break the huddle. Matt Rigby over the football on first down. I formation behind Saunders, and it's a quarterback keep. He wedges his way forward to the 40, maybe the 39. A pickup of about 4 yards, as that was a planned play, and Drew Sumich was able to make the stop for Brother Martin.
Here we see Saunders just taking a snap and just going right off the tail of his guard and center. Evidently, they must have spotted a gap in that area, and they tried to take advantage of it.
Pickup of 3 officially. 2nd and 7 at the 40-yard line. 8:56 and counting. Split backs this time. It's a broken I formation. Saunders with the give running right. Tripped and dropped in the backfield. 84, Damon Tullier tripped Golemi in the backfield for a loss of 2. And a big play by Tullier penetrating the 230-pound sophomore who has a bright future.
Tullier just did a good job reading the play. He knifed in, knocked out the interference, and made the tackle. We're going to see Golemi coming back on a delayed count on our replay, and Tullier just got underneath the attempted block of the tackle and made the stop.
Eric Bubrig trying to make the block there. It's 3rd down as a result of the loss. 9 yards to go. Jesuit at the Brother Martin 42 and a trip set right. 3 receivers to that side of the field, and Ryan Bro is in at quarterback, so they're going to throw. Rolling right, Bro. Flag down. Looks, throws, sideline. Perfect throw. Out of bounds, though. Caught out of bounds by Thompson. There was a flag down anyway, I believe, for holding against Jesuit. Boy, good throw by Bro again on the dead run. Would have come back anyway, Steve, but let's take a look at it. We might be able to pick up the hold, too. There it is right there. There's your hold.
Bro rolling, sprinting out. He's going to fire it to his receiver. The receiver did not have possession as he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, good call. You can see that. He eventually pulled it in. All you need is 1 foot in, but he was not able to hold on anyway. Holding against Jesuit. Great job by our Cox Cable crew of capturing the hold on our replay.
Interesting call here. We bring up a 4th and 9. They're going to push him back.
They're going to take the penalty, and
On the offense.
Well, it's a major penalty. 15 yards spotted all the way back to the Jesuit 41. That's why they took the penalty, I am sure, because it would have been 4th down. But it will be 3rd down and a long way to go as a result.
That's Jesuit's first penalty of the ball game.
Isn't that amazing? First penalty. Playing with 8:04 to play in the 4th quarter. These are the kind of games you like to see, penalty-free. True sign of well-disciplined, well-coached football teams, Steve.
We've seen a lot of that on both sides of the football. Bobby Conlon, just, as you said, the dean of high school coaches in the area, and his former player and assistant, Mark Sanchez.
23 years of this for Bobby Conlon. 3rd down, 25. Jesuit at their own 41. Bro, the quarterback, 3 receivers to the right side again, and he rolls that way again. Bro has time. Bro stops. Bro throws deep to Thompson. Has it. Thompson into Brother Martin territory. He's going to be hit hard and dropped short of a 1st down at about the 36, but a nice play nonetheless. 23 yards, but this may come back as well. Ineligible receiver downfield on Jesuit.
I tell you what, we're going to see Bro rolling out, getting good blocking, enough time to allow his receiver to go down, and he makes a good throw. Nice touch pass. He finds him right over the outstretched arms of the linebacker, but it's all going to come back.
Well,
nice
that was
catch.
a heck of a throw over the linebacker, and this kid does it on the dead run.
Nice catch also by Bill Thompson.
Well, Thompson's an excellent player. He's an all-district player who had 16 catches last year, had 14 coming into tonight's game, and he's had a couple of near misses. One that he almost pulled down, and there was one that is called back. Ineligible man downfield. 2nd time that's happened to Jesuit, and after going 3 quarters without a penalty, Jesuit with 2 in a row here have hurt. Of course, Brother Martin had 2 in a row that cost them 1st downs here on this drive, so everything balances out a bit. One thing's for sure, this drive is not alive. Jesuit's going the wrong way. It's 3rd and 30 from their own 36. Thompson comes wide to the right, split backs behind Bro, who stays in at quarterback.
One man-on-man situation with Thompson.
Rolling right again. Bro stops, throws. The hook route to Thompson, caught across midfield, driven back as he got to the Brother Martin 49 before Rayon Hill could bring him down. That's a pickup of 15 yards, and Ryan Bro is very impressive rolling and throwing for Jesuit.
He's got a good, strong arm. He throws on a run. Here we're going to see the replay. It's really just about the same play that they ran before, except they do have one-on-one, and we're going to see Thompson come on the top of the screen on a little hook pattern. Makes a nice catch and tries to pick up some additional yardage, finally brought down by Hill. 4th down punting situation. Neely will kick it away. It's a low line drive to Fulham, who has it at the 15. Wants to get outside, has some blockers set up. Look out. Fulham does get to the corner. He's at the 15. He's at the 20 and runs out of room at about the 21-yard line. Boy, they were setting up that wall, Steve. It looked pretty dangerous, but he just ran out of room. 7:01 to play. 3-0 Jesuit. Downfield level now to Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. One thing to think about here, on all of Brother Martin's previous drives, Jesuit has done a great job of stopping them on 1st down. And when you primarily run the ball, 2nd and long and 3rd and long, running's not going to get the job done. One other thought, when you're thinking about MVPs, hey, don't forget about the dog. He's got 1 score and at least 100 yards rushing. Back up to you, Kenny.
We might have to find him. That's the only problem to present him with our ESPN game ball and our AAA trophy. On first down, Thiel running right with room. 20, 25, 30. Thiel with speed to the 35, the 40. Thiel down the sideline across midfield. Thiel is driven out of bounds in Jesuit territory at about the 45-yard line. Big play by Stephen Thiel and a first down, Brother Martin.
If you remember, on the opening drive at Brother Martin, their first possession, Thiel started off with the exact same play. Here he comes down the line, fakes to his back, and now just a good job of blocking. He's already beaten the contained man on the outside, but it looks like it's going to come back, Ken.
Well, they say he stepped out of bounds back in his own territory at the 39-yard line. It's still a gain of 20, but boy, that cost him about 20 additional yards. But a big play nonetheless for Brother Martin and Stephen Thiel, their biggest threat tonight. First and 10, the 31. 39-yard line. Williams in motion. They give to the left half. Straight ahead, that's a Scanny running out of the left half spot, even though he's the fullback. Generally speaking, trying to give him a different look. Scanny gets across the 40 to about the 43, a pickup of 4 top yards. Scanny's helmet off again. Well, he's been knocked around a bit this evening, but he's a tough kid.
Just a lot of tough hitting going on down there. You kind of feel that Brother Martin has kind of picked up tempo a little bit on offense. I think they really feel that this is getting down to being maybe one of their final possessions of the football game.
Yeah, a sense of urgency, I think, obviously. Second down, 6 to 43-yard line, Crusaders. Wide left, Pedavino. Everybody else tight. In motion right is Caracci. Thiel runs the option right to the short side, nothing doing. Maybe a yard or two, and that's all. Ben Tarantino up to make the stop from free safety. Tarantino, a fine player. We've seen him all over the field. He had 5 interceptions coming into this game this evening.
Also, again, Bonner doing a good job disrupting the play as it came down the line of scrimmage.
Third down, we'll call it about 4 yards to go for Brother Martin at their own 46 with 5:40 to play. Here's a big play in the ball game here. Stephen Thiel has done a great job here this evening running the football. He's been the primary threat for Brother Martin with 75 yards rushing. Takes him up to the line of scrimmage with a full house backfield behind him. That's Williams in motion. Play fake. Wants to throw. Heavy pressure sack. Back at the 36-yard line. He is sacked by Ryan Parrish from his left defensive tackle spot.
I really like the call by Brother Martin going with the play fake. Good call, but I tell you what, nobody was really fooled, and you're going to see Jesuit shooting the gap. Here comes Ryan Parrish. Just sacks him. Nowhere to go.
Just no chance there for Stephen Thiel, who has to jump back into punt formation. Marcus Scott standing at his 30-yard line to receive. High kick, tough one to field. Scott calls fair catch. Look out, he makes the catch nicely at the 37-yard line. Marcus Scott stepped up, did the job, and Jesuit comes away cleanly with good field position. Their own 37, 4:44 to play, and the Blue Jays seeking what would be an upset, leading 3-0.
Credit Scott, again, he was coming up to make the fair catch. I guess he remembered that the last 2 times that Thiel punted the football, he got tremendous roll. So this does give Jesuit good field position.
Jays will look to run the clock here. They like to run the ball and move the chains. Easier said than done. High formation behind Saunders, the quarterback, twin receivers to the left side. Give it to Roniger running left, trapped in the backfield, breaks a tackle, fights his way forward, but still loses a yard or 2. Great penetration by the Crusaders. A lot of people.
I was about to say, at the end of the play, they had 8 defenders making the tackle.
You could call Sumich, Howard, Sill, Bartholomew, Kane, and you'd be pretty accurate on that play. A loss officially of 2. It's 2nd and 12 at the 35 with 4:13 and counting to play. Twin receivers right, split backs behind Ryan Bro, who's in the game. He's thrown every time he's been in. This time he runs a sprint draw to Roniger, and Roniger is trapped and dropped after a gain of 1 at the 36 by Heath Howard, who wasn't fooled.
Also assisted there by number 43,
Adam Sill. Gain of 1, 3rd down and 11.
Here we see the replay, just a delayed draw. He comes out like he's may roll out to throw the football, but finally gets it to his back. Good defensive read by Brother Martin.
Now, if you're Jesuit, Steve, with a clock running 3:40 to play and your defense playing well, do you try to throw here on 3rd and 11?
Good question. I would think not.
Well, they've got a 3 wide receivers set to the right side. They've thrown off of this formation every time with Bro. He is rolling that way, wanting to throw. Ryan Bro still rolling. Now stops, throws, and is it caught or not? On the sideline, and what's the call? I think he caught it, but he may be short of a first down. I believe so. It was caught, I believe, by Matt Roger. Or was it? Now they're going to bring it back and say it wasn't caught. Hit him in the hands, and it's to the short side of the field. Now we get a chance to see it again, Steve.
We're going to see what, as the throw is made, just a great effort by the receiver, number 5, Rogers.
On the offense is declined.
Yeah, you can see he didn't catch it, and it was holding on Jesuit anyway, declined, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. And a 4th down, but again, a good throw by Bro. Ball was right on the mark. With 3:19 to play, Neely will have to punt it away. Watch the snap and kick here. Fulham is deep to receive. This one's going down to the wire, folks. Neely in punt formation at his 22.
Brother Martin may come out, or should come out of this with good field position.
Good snap, plenty of time. Fulham hits it. Rather, Neely hits it. Bounces. Oh, big bounce for Jesuit. Inside the 30 and about the 28. It actually packed up for Brother Martin at that point. I guess turnabout's fair play because Brother Martin's had a lot of those bounces in their favor this evening. Timeout on the field, 2:58 to play. Our score, 3-0 Jesuit. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
This fall, there's a new force in local sports. Friday Night Football. Hosted by Ed Daniels and J.T. Curtis. Louisiana's winningest prep football.
Live on WSMB and also on your television, delayed on Cox Cable. Glad to have you with us this evening. 2:58 to play. 3-0 Jesuit on top of Brother Martin. Crusaders ball 1st and 10, their own 28-yard line with a full house backfield behind Stephen Thiel. This could be the possession that determines the ball game, folks. Wide side of the field, the right side of the field. Thiel sends Williams in motion. Keeps it. Fights his way forward for a couple. Maybe the 31-yard line, a pickup of 2. Let's go down field level now for this report from Lance Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Something that Brother Martin coaches were asking the referees or bringing to our attention is after that last incompletion and the decline penalty, the clock continued to run. About 10 seconds, maybe 5 or 10 seconds ran up the clock. That concerned them, but nothing happened. They left it where it was. They did not put the time back on. Let's see if that matters here late in the game.
All right, time is a factor, but they've got time with 2:27 and counting. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining, by the way. 2nd and 7 from the 31, a full house backfield behind Thiel once again. Play fake, wants to throw heavy pressure. Parrish chasing him, he gets away from him. Thiel with speed to the 30, to the 35, has a 1st down across the 40, to the 41-yard line before Marcus Scott can bring him down. Stephen Thiel's speed is the difference. He has been the one weapon Brother Martin has had this evening.
He did an excellent job that time evading the rush of Parrish to get outside, and then he did I don't know if Kenny thought that he was going to cut back, but Kenny evidently took a fake and he went down. Good yardage.
Bobby Conlon pointing at the clock. You can see clearly there. He wanted a few seconds put back on us. Thiel was hit and down. Line of scrimmage will be, appears the 41-yard line. That is where we had it. And a 1st down for Brother Martin as a result. And they have put 7 seconds back on the clock, Steve. 2:07 to play.
Good call by Coach Conlon. He felt the clock did run after the play was stopped, and they get 7 seconds back.
We get a chance to look at it with 2:07 to play. Hey, when you got 23 years at this practice, buddy, you get it right, okay? You got that right. And I tell you what, officials tend to listen to you when you have that type of experience. 1st and 10, the 41-yard line. Williams in motion to the right side. Thiel off the play fake, rolling right, wants to throw a throwback screen. He does to Caracci. Caracci breaks a tackle. Caracci's down for a loss of about 5 yards in the backfield by Marchant Kenny, who's played a terrific football game.
Well, we talked about Kenny on the last play, how he was kind of faked out by Field. That time they do a good job of recognizing the screen, come all the way across the field. Here we're going to see it on our replay. Good play action by Field, setting up the screen all the way across the field almost. And now you're going to see Jesuit come through and make the stop.
All right, as we get back to live action, 2nd down and 18. Thiel rolling, throwing over the middle and almost intercepted. Or it was intercepted.
No.
He caught it.
He caught it.
He caught the football. Unbelievable. How did Caracci catch that ball? It went through the arms of Tarantino. Caracci catches it, and a 1st down, Brother Martin, at the Jesuit 47-yard line. I don't know how he caught that football, Steve.
Just an unbelievable catch, Kenny. As you said, he was actually sliding on the turf as the ball went through two defenders to make this catch.
Amazing play. 1st and 10, single setback behind Thiel. Rolling, wants to throw. Stops, throws over the middle, and caught. It's caught by Crowd as he fumbles a football, and Jesuit comes up with it. He fumbled it right into the arms of Marcus Scott, and the turnover is going to give Jesuit the ball game with 1:05 to play.
Oh, what a tough break. Just a tough break for the receiver, Crowders. After making a fantastic catch, he's being tackled and fighting for extra yardage, and he's struggling to pick up extra yardage. The ball pops out, and it is caught in midair by Jesuit.
We said that a turnover would decide this football game, and hate to say we told you so, but we told you so.
There it is. And you just had the feeling that something like that was going to be a deciding factor in such a tight game.
Your heart goes out to Stephen Thiel, who did everything single-handedly to try to win this game for Brother Martin. Full house backfield behind Saunders. They're going to just hold on to the football here. They give it to Roniger. To the line of scrimmage, no gain. Brother Martin will use a timeout, I am sure.
Yes.
Timeout on the field with 59 seconds left with our score. Jesuit 3, Brother Martin nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. The Jesuit sideline looking on with 59 seconds to play. And Mark Saunders telling Brian Saunders, hey man, get the snap, hold on to the football.
Definitely.
Brother Martin with one timeout remaining, so Jesuit has to run another play before they can start kneeling on the football, Steve.
Can I tell you what, just an outstanding effort tonight by the Jesuit defense. Brother Martin averaging 35 points a game in their last 5 football games, being shut out.
59 seconds left. Power I formation behind Saunders, who gives it running right to Roniger. He wants to stay in bounds. He breaks a tackle and gets a first down, but he goes out of bounds. But he did get the first down, I do believe, before Heath Howitt drove him out of bounds. Let's go downfield level for this report from Lance Jacob.
Kenny, one quick point. Some guys who only get attention when things go bad, not when they go good. This officiating crew, they realized when they were wrong with the time. They put the time back on the clock. Let's take our hats off to them. They've really done a good job tonight. Back up to you.
Well stated. They usually do a good job. A first down on the play at the Jesuit 47. Brother Martin trying to tackle the football. They do preserve a timeout there, but Jesuit gets a fresh set of downs. And now Jesuit is going to kneel on the football. Even though Brother Martin has one timeout left, Steve, they can do that with 3 downs to play with.
Yes, they do. You see that they have Galemi back in the safety-type position in case the ball is fumbled, but that's what they're going to do.
Split backs behind Saunders, takes 2 steps back, puts a knee down. Brother Martin can stop the clock one more time should they choose to do so. And they do with 44 seconds left. We'll take timeout as well. With 44 seconds left, our score is Jesuit 3, Brother Martin nothing. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Ken Trahan, Steve Barrios, Lance Jacob on the field. 44 seconds to play, 3-0. Jesuit on top. Big crowd, great game. What else would you expect? This 10-5-8 tussle here this evening. Brother Martin out of timeouts. Jesuit sideline looking on. Brian Saunders takes the snap on second down, takes a couple of steps back and kneels. And the clock is going to run out here momentarily, and Jesuit is going to win this football game. The Blue Jays are going to go to 4-1 in district play, 7-2 overall. The Crusaders will be 4-1 in district play, 7-2 overall. And it'll put this race in an incredible quagmire, Steve.
That's true. Jesuit has to win next week against the Shaw Eagles. If they do, they'll claim a share of the championship title.
Jesuit may not have to run another play. 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Counting down, the Blue Jays are going to get it done against Brother Martin. They will snap the Martin win streak with a 3-0 victory over the Crusaders here this evening in a terrific football game. Well played. Boy, what emotion on that field as Mark Sanji has to go shake hands with the man that taught him everything he knows, coached him, coached with him, and really is responsible for landing him this job.
I was going to say, you know, I'm sure Coach Collin is very disappointed that they didn't win the football game, but when it's all said and done, I think he's got to be proud of Mark Sanji.
As we talked about at halftime with Barry Hebert of Brother Martin, you know they're proud of him. But boy, Mark may have to issue some apologies here this evening. Beating his alma mater, Jesuit, winning it 3-0. And Steve, players of the game, I mean, we got to split it here this evening. We have a trophy from AAA Trophies. We also have an ESPN game ball. We're going to split it between the kicker, Pat Neely, whose 40-yarder provided the only points and who punted so effectively all evening long to keep Jesuit out of trouble. And also Marchant Kenny, who unofficially had about 15 tackles and was just brilliant in this football game.
Because it really was a defensive victory for Jesuit.
Yeah, in fact, both guys deserve it very richly, and so we're going to split it. It's an easy task, and we have just done that. So that's our deal. Co-players of the game, linebacker Marchant Kenny, kicker Pat Neely. Jesuit defeats Brother Martin by the score of 3-0. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with our post-game show in just a moment. This is the WSMB 1350 AM Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week.
You buy Bone Ford in New Orleans, your 15-minute confidence dealership. Kenner on the move. Friday Night Football on WGNO-TV, Channel 26. And Cox Cable Jefferson Parish, guaranteed star quality.
Our final score once again this evening, the Jesuit Blue Jays defeating the Brother Martin Crusaders.